Although they ride together, they got the long hair, they both rip. They are not brothers in the same name. However, on the water they are. Spencer Trice here, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely crushing. Man, I love your toe side back ones.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to learn that?
I mean, like, set or two.
Set or two? I wish I could do that.
It took me way longer.
Not
Not too bad. What other tricks are you working on now?
Right now I'm working on roll of blinds and like fives.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember us working on the roll of blinds. Walk me through what progress have we made since then?
I've only tried it a couple times, but I think I'm throwing it earlier. So.
Throwing it earlier? Yeah, because you're throwing them really late.
Yeah, I was throwing them really late, so that's improved, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Going into like such a a blind face. No, we say blind. What do you mean by blind?
It's basically like landing on your toe side with the rope like behind your back in your backhand, and that makes you like not be able to like see the boat like really. So that's why we call it blind.
Oh wow. Yeah. So what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is when he comes off the wake, you'll see these riders spinning, and he actually will spin the opposite way he's facing from the boat, and we call that backside because right off the wake, we turn our back to the boat, so we can't see anything that's happening that way. However, there are angles and spots we can keep our eyes on, right? To be able to know where we're at. Where do you look when you're turning away from the boat?
I look at the shore. Yeah, I like land and ride out towards the shore, or like the shore, or like I kind of look like forward on the shore though. Like
okay.
I don't
like where you're going, not where
where you're going. Yeah.
Sure. Keep your eye on the ball, right?
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Yeah.
There's no ball out there, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not gonna hit you. So what he also will do is he'll do a back roll, which you saw him do out there, and absolutely stomping bolts on that. When I say stomping bolts, well, there's that JL audio pumping, nice and clean and loud. Make sure you go to their 10 and see what you can do in your boat with that. Going back to the back roll, however, after he's halfway through his trick, he twists his arm down and does that backside 180 as well. So not only is he flipping, he's also adding a rotation, which is a blind landing, as he said. So a lot of times riders will land with one hand on the handle in the small of their back and then wrapped up actually in it. What's your favorite feeling when you go out and ride? Is it landing blind, or what do you like to do when you're out there?
I love roll to reverts. I mean, it's just like I think it's just a really cool flowy trick that feels really nice, and
It looked really good.
I find not too difficult because I have my back roll really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have half cab roll?
I do.
Okay, so you can roll revert and half cab roll?
Yeah. I got it pretty recently, but it's getting pretty consistent. So.
Awesome. Are we going to see that tomorrow, or is that too soon? Too soon?
If the conditions are good, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. So as you came in, you obviously built your run as well. Are you doing it the same way that Brody is, or do you have your own mentality when you come into a tournament?
I pick all the tricks that I want to be in my run, like all my most consistent tricks, and then like I kind of build my run off of that. Like if I have like 6 toe side tricks, I'll order them like toe side first in both passes. But I kind of forgot my run going in, so I kind of just winged it this one. But I do usually build my run and practice it like about a month ahead.
Okay, awesome. And when you go in and you have that template, how did you decide? You said the tricks you liked and what you're consistent with. You mentioned a number of toe side tricks. Explain that to me. What does that look like?
Like what tricks?
Well, you said toe side. What is toe side?
Oh, it's coming in like towards your like coming into the wake, like facing the wake, not like facing the shore, facing the wake, and then like coming in on the toes.
And as we talk about on the toes, ladies and gentlemen, we have Kayla out there, toe side facing the wake right now on her foil, just cruising out there, absolutely no handle in hand. Are you a foiler?
I foiled a little bit, but it's really hard.
It is a very unique experience, and if you guys haven't gone out there, it's a super fun thing to do, especially when it's rough out, because it really doesn't get affected as much as your wakeboard does.
No.
The fun part is as you get out of the water is about how to maintain enough weight forward.
Yeah, that's the part I struggle with.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So as you come in here, you're working on road line. You know, you're coming out to these tournaments. How often do you compete?
I compete like 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay. That's a good amount.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good amount of traveling and getting ready for it. How do you keep it fun and not lose sight of what you love to do?
Just gotta go out there and just like sometimes do something that's different that like you don't always do. Something that maybe gets you a bit out of your comfort zone, and then you like try it and you're like gives you that adrenaline rush. That feels so good. That was just one of the great things about wakeboarding, and then like just trying new stuff, and then like getting old stuff back that you may have lost. Like
yeah. Old stuff that you have lost, you get scared of. At least in my case. Somebody asked me on the dock, "You're gonna do a Moby Dick," and I was like, dude, that trick, although it's one of the first moves you learn, has never agreed with me in my life. I had to do it on the way down. So I would do an Indy tantrum, or I would do a tantrum and then spin on the way down.
yeah, that seems like it'd be very scary.
The only way I could do it. I did it proper probably twice. However, my body was just not about it. And that's something that's funny to learn. Your body likes to spin one direction or the other direction for these riders. And a lot of times it doesn't, once you get to a certain point, it's not about switch toe side, switch heel side. It's really about how, when you come off the wake, how's your body feeling? Huge shout out to the DNR to stop it. This is a no-wake zone. Our no-wake poster board did run away. I don't know where it went. We did have one. Oh, it's on the trailer. So they can't really see that from the water, so we're not gonna, oh no, my sheets. We're not gonna fault them for that. But thank you to the DNR to keeping the water nice and calm out there. We appreciate that much.
Yeah.
So as obviously you're traveling, you're competing. I know when I grew up, it was hard to find a community to ride with. So walk me through that. How are you doing that?
Like Kirby's camp is really good. There's a lot of new people for me to meet, new wakeboarders that are interested in wakeboarding. Like Brody, but I know Oklahoma there isn't a huge wakeboard scene, so just like meeting people where I can out in the water, and yeah. So spoiler alert, I had the privilege of speaking with your mom about it. Actually, she was saying that you guys don't have a huge scene out there, so you have to ride alone, and that was a lot how I was. Mostly because the riders and the skiers that were around, they just didn't want to do the same thing. Yeah.
They didn't have the same passion. They couldn't take the falls that we take.
And they don't want to get up early.
Right. So there's a lot of discipline in that. So with that discipline, how are you finding yourself keeping it fun?
I mean, just going out there with like family and friends, and like they might not be as interested in it as I am, but they can surf and have fun, and just having a like family out there really keeps it fun and fresh.
Yeah, and it kind of brings it back, right? So you not just solely stuck on, I need to progress, because as you grow into this comp scene, right, it's easy to get lost into the progression, and that's really important. Don't get me wrong, obviously, because we're here to get better, we're here to compete, we're here to do all that. How do you go in and manage those expectations for yourself?
Good question. I mean, I just kind of think I know what's realistic for me, and just have like high expectations of myself. But if like I don't do it, it's not the end of the world.
Sure.
I think it's like what's important for managing expectations of myself. Just like knowing if I don't do something, it's not gonna change my life if I don't or do.
Yeah. And everybody's gonna have good sets, they're gonna have bad sets, they're gonna come out to competitions. I actually once drove 13 hours for a tournament in Kentucky, and I thought I was gonna crush it. because they were offering a pro card at the time and everything, and I was ready for this tournament. I went out there, I fell on my first trick, and then I got up and I fell on my second trick.
What tricks?
I don't even want to tell you. I fell on a bat weight, and I think I was just doing a tantrum just to get used to the weight. This is a long time ago, probably.
Was this whenever you had your tantrum spell? Or you couldn't land
Oh
it?
yeah, no. This was about 4 years before I even met Kirby. This is probably 2009. How old are you?
I'm 13.
13. You probably weren't even born
No,
yet.
I wasn't. I was
Oh
born in
my god.
2010.
I don't like this interview anymore. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. So I went out there and I hit one trick. I did one trick. Bat wing fell. Then got up. One tantrum fell. And then went home.
That must have been rough.
Oh, it was the worst.
Must have been the worst drive home ever.
Yes, because I didn't have the mental build-up of, hey, what am I really out here for? So I guess tell you're a seasoned competitor. Have you had that type of experience? Have you only had good? I mean, if you only had good, I'm jealous. I'm happy for you. A little more jealous than anything, but
At Nationals in 2022, I absolutely stomped my run and went to finals, and I fell first trick, and I fell like first trick on second pass. It sucked, and I got third place. It was really rough.
fourth in the nation isn't the worst.
It's not the worst, but I think if I laid down my run the way I wanted to, I feel like I could have won.
For sure. So I'm going to come back to that here in just a second. Out there on the water, cranking his surfing skills on that big old semi, that foil. Frank Marin. Nice and cruise. He was telling me he was concerned about the size of the wake being much different than his boat, but he actually crushed that all the way down.
Oh yeah.
So when you have those, I don't want to call it defeats or failures because although you didn't do your best in the sense of what you're capable of, however you want that out there, did you try your hardest? Right?
Yeah, I did.
So you did your output, right? You put it out there.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. How did you manage getting back into the mental capacity for that weekend to be able to enjoy yourself still?
Well,
Or did you not, like I did? I sold the whole time.
it was not the most enjoyable. My dad made me go to the award ceremony. I had
That's
to sit
good.
through that. It was hard.
That's good for your dad. I love that.
Yeah. And then just like, I mean, it's just a competition. There'll be another one, another chance. You know, it's like,
The long term.
yeah, it's long term, and you know, you just can't let it consume you, the emotion.
Right. Speaking of not speaking of the emotion, but the motion that's happening out there, Frank is going up and down that wake, up and down, just cruising, showing how much control he has over that foil. He's going to get it all the way through that course. That is incredible. And yeah, I think that's really good to have that foresight. And really, honestly, the biggest thing about these tournaments and these competitions, nationals, worlds, the next level, all that. At the end of the day, we all want to be number one, right?
For sure.
Otherwise, what are we doing? We want to be number
exactly.
one. However, there is something even more valuable than these achievements and the titles you can bring home is the relationships you build while you're out there, right? Going to the award ceremony, how are you networking? How are you putting yourself out there, getting yourself in front of people, and keeping that as the focus of this event? Not only to display my talent on the water, but off the water, and being marketable. You know? So I was like, hey, Malibu, look at me, check it out. You know, or hey, like, you know, Brody, love your ride. Let's hang out, let's rip sometime. You know, how are you going forward? How do you think that would be playing out in your riding?
I mean, just really giving the companies like some, like, you know, obviously like being good off the water. I mean, associating myself with people who are really good.
Yeah, love it. I know it's a hard question.
Yeah, it is very hard.
But you're doing a great job. Just threw down. I was stoked to see you through that toe back one. I know that's kind of your signature, so those toe side backside spins. It's unique to watch. I love seeing. I think you have a 360 of that too, do you not?
I used to.
You used to? It'll come back.
Never really had it consistent. I've landed it a few times.
Okay.
But
That's a big trick.
it's hard.
It's a hard trick. I can only do mine off axis. I can't do it on.
Off axis kind of scares me.
For now.
For now.
For now, you'll build it. You'll get it. Actually, while we switch out the riders here, and before I release it, how do you conquer fears in going to new tricks or tricks that bit you in the past and coming back to it?
I mean, you just gotta like say, like think in your mind, this might be a bad crash, but if I do it and I do it well, I'll be able to try it as many times as I want for the rest of the set. And
I like that.
yeah,
So you mentally prepare yourself and accept the consequences, whether good or bad.
yeah. And it's also really important to give the trick your best go, otherwise it will hurt. You know?
That is true. And with that, also the respect of the tricks that they deserve for each and every one of them. I feel like so many times I hear in the past that people, when they do get hurt, is when they just keep a trick taken for granted, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? Like for me, I remember one time I stomped something, and I think I was just doing a surface 180 to get back, and I just caught the toes out of full on snot hit.
Yeah, everyone does that sometimes.
Right? Yeah, respect every hit.
That's why I always do all 180s to switch around.
Yeah, that's fair. Get up in the air, right? Get that.
Yeah.
So it looks like we have a swimmer going out there. Get picked up here for the next set here. Are we still ripping foil or?
I think so.
Okay. So how have you been enjoying these Malibu boats so far?
Yeah, the wake is amazing on this one. I got to ride. We obviously rode that rode it in competition. It's very big, very popular. Feels great.
Yeah. When you look for a wake, what do you look for out of it?
I think I look for obviously I want it to be big, but I also really appreciate a good shape. Because if a wake is a bit smaller, but it has a good shape, it can pop you almost as high as an incredibly large wake that is very mellow and doesn't have a great shape.
When you say great shape and mellow and pop, what makes those things, what is mellow?
Mellow is like
a marshmallow? Are we talking about a Michelin Man? What are we talking about here?
kind of like a diagonal angle almost, where it's not as straight up as you'd like it to be.
Like a wall?
Yeah,
Like
you
avoiding a wall?
you kind of want it more like a wall, but if it's mellow, it's more like a wall that's kind of fallen down and is kind of slanted.
Right.
Like a.
Oh, okay. It's like transition.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
gentle
not,
angle.
Yeah, it's very gentle and it's not very not necessarily super steep, but it's just kind of rolled over and just kind of not as very as much.
Yeah, and you were blessed with being able to come up with these boats that had a lot of transition back in the day with the short boats and slamming it. I had my little boat that was 20 and a half feet, slammed with 4,000 pounds of ballast for that thing. And whenever you would slow down, the nose would go under with you, and then also water would come in the back. That was how we rode our boats, and those were just straight walls. There was no transition. So you definitely have that blessing of having these nice wide boats and being 8.5 feet wide, 102-inch beam, super deep, super big. Just to have those clean weights, to be able to get up, and obviously the wedge that the Malibu provides to be able to shape it up if you want.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of control over the wake without needing a lot of ballast, or gives you a smaller wake if you do have a lot of ballast and a lot of riders that want ballast, and then a couple riders that don't.
Sure. Definitely. Awesome, Spencer. I appreciate you coming up here. And
Appreciate you letting me up here.
Yeah, of course. I might be asking more people to come up here depending on how this goes, but I want to get into the people, and for you guys to be able to tell, you guys have a lot of experience, a lot of, tricks under your sleeves, and be able to, share with the community, and these kids, look up to you, people that come into the sport, so it's really cool. You guys are great ambassadors. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.